try and bring it out. Another hurdle here, trying to bring it out. You see? Now, just be calm because when you're learning how to ventilate, you're going to face a lot of hurdles. See, at the end of the day, it did not actually come out. So you have to be patient with yourself. When you're learning how to ventilate, you have to learn to be patient. In fact, this particular ventilating is not for people that are not patient, really, to be sincere. You have to be patient, and then you have to know that when you are trying so hard and it's not working, you just have to relax, calm down, and then you can start all over again. So first thing first, it's not a must to have a mannequin for beginners. You can actually use a hard surface, place your white paper on it like I've just done. Then you take your ventilating net on it. The next thing you have to do is to have your pin. To use your pin, you secure the ventilating net like so. Ensure that it is firmly secure so you don't pull up when ventilating. So after doing this, the next thing you're to do is you're actually ventilating with an attachment extension. So like I said, for this particular tutorial, we're going to be using an attachment to learn how to ventilate. So just sit back and then watch closely while I actually explain how to ventilate. So after having all this sorted out, your net, securing it with a pin, having your background which is white, and then having a surface to place it on, the next thing is you should have a ventilating pin. In fact, that's a major thing. Ventilating pin. So the reason why you'll be needing a white background is for you to actually see through the net. So for a beginner, it might be difficult for you to actually see through the net to see the holes in between. So this will actually enhance you seeing through. So you pick up your ventilating needle, your ventilating pin. First thing, try to put in the needle and see how it is like. So let's go. So you trying to hold your attachment for beginners, you notice holding a bunch of attachments is going to be difficult. So I will advise you just take a little strands of hair so that it will make it much easier for you to handle for beginner. So over time, when you become perfect, you can actually handle the amount of attachments that you're comfortable with. So for beginner, would go with a smaller quantity and then you spread like so. Now, the first thing you realize I would actually want you to on your own observe is the ventilating needle. Now, this ventilating needle has a particular hook. Just pick, if you already have your ventilating, to pick your ventilating needle, try and actually look for that particular hook on that tiny pin. If you can actually get that particular hook on the tiny pin, ventilating will become so easy for you, because if you don't know that there's a particular hook on it, you will just rip the net out. So I'm already trying. So look at the way I'm doing it. You see, it's actually holding the net now. That hook is holding the net. So once you've observed that, you actually be careful while ventilating so you don't rip off the net. And then that is one secret to learning how to ventilate for starters. So you see, it's difficult for you to go through. And if you're not careful, you just end up ripping the net. And then you find it difficult to even pass the attachment or whatever extension you're going to use, passing it through. So that is one thing to it's time to go. So you handle a little strand of attachment, turn it over like this. You see, is a round hole like this, and then you handle it that way. Place your hand in this form. You're observing the way I'm doing it right now. Then hold your ventilating pin, pass it through. Try and pick two strands of hair, pass it through, and then turn it over, bring it like so. I don't know, for the first time it looks like magic, but let's do it again. So let's try one more time. Pass it through the hole, one at a time, one hole at a time. Then you see one first hurdle. Pass it through like this and take it, turn it gently, and then pass it through. You just pass it through the hole, but don't try seeing the hole, but there's a hole you pass it through. And then just do like so. But when the attachment is scattered like this, you don't continue. You just arrange. For beginners, very important you arrange it, else you will just be stranded. So you do it over again, pass it through a hole at a time, put the attachment. The attachment is actually hooked to that pin, like I told you earlier. And then you try and bring it out. Another hurdle here, trying to bring it out. You see? Now, just be calm, because when you're learning how to ventilate, you're going to face a lot of hurdles. See, at the end of the day, it did not actually come out. So you have to be patient with yourself. When you're learning how to ventilate, you have to learn to be patient. In fact, this particular ventilating is not for people that are not patient, really, to be sincere. You have to be patient, and then you have to note that when you are trying so hard and it's not working, you just have to relax, calm down, and then you can start all over again. That is one important thing to note. And then you just continue the process over and over again. Just continue the process over and over again. And then you start discovering some certain things while ventilating. So if you watch me now, I'm actually showing you some kind of hurdles that you actually go through while trying to ventilate for the first time. Sometimes the attachments don't um go out with your ventilating pin. Sometimes you don't even turn it rightly. So just watch, just watch, just watch. I think I'll just have to stop talking right now. Just watch it closely, and then you observe. You see, like this, it's done. So you go again. This is actually a wrong thing to do. This trying to fill it in, it is a very wrong thing to do for starters. So, like I said, you see, and it's ruined. So you have to start and take the right. So another thing to notice, you use your right hand to turn the ventilating pin like this. Your right hand, the thumb finger and the finger before it, you turn it. That is what actually turns the pin around to give it that knot. So look at it again, bring it out, turn, gives it a knot, and then voila. Again. If you've watched this point, please try it out. Tell me how it was for you ventilating for the first time, and then tell me the stress you actually went through, the hassle you went through trying to ventilate for the first time. So, guys, please subscribe if you've watched up to this point, like so that others will get to see this video, and then comment what it was like for you ventilating for the first time. And then remember to be patient with yourself, because patience is actually key when it comes to ventilating, really, even for professionals. Thank